Hi. Hope you're all having a great weekend. I'm just between clients at the moment. So it's been hormones, 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 hormones today. And everyone that I'm seeing today, quite interestingly enough, they all have low progesterone, and that's what I'm talking about today. And this is the reason that I'm pretty sorry. It's a bit bright here. I'm kind of squinting. I need to put my sunglasses on. Um, this is the reason I'm so passionate about progesterone as a hormone, because I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of saliva tests on my female clients, and I have found progesterone to just be the one that's always low. It's 95% of the time progesterone is super low, and it causes all sorts of symptoms, and it causes the usual symptoms, but it also causes chronic symptoms that you may not even know are caused by progesterone. So sometimes things like fertility, recurrent miscarriage, depression, it can sometimes be a simple fix. It can sometimes actually be just upregulating progesterone, and that will actually make you feel better. So progesterone is a female hormone. It's the hormone that helps you prepare before pregnancy. So it helps the egg to implant. It helps to prepare the whole uterus, and so it's important in those early stages of pregnancy. So that's why recurrent miscarriage, is often a symptom of low progesterone. So that's a symptom to look out for. So as well as doing that, it prepares other parts of the body for pregnancy. It prepares you also for breastfeeding. And through pregnancy, what happens is your placenta actually starts to produce progesterone as well. So people that have low progesterone sometimes do get issues with the placenta. So placenta in the wrong place, not big enough, not strong enough, that type of thing. So it's really important in those early stages of pregnancy. And then it also preps for labour as well. So it helps with the later part of labour. It helps with the uterus, and it helps with sort of like making that all nice and mobile for an easier, less painful birth. So progesterone has so many functions when it comes to pregnancy and your fertility. But it's a precursor in many hormones. It's a precursor for thyroid hormones. It's a precursor for endorphins. So if you've got low progesterone, you might suffer from low thyroid. You might suffer from, just going to turn the aircon off. You might suffer from low serotonin, low dopamine. So it's really, really important for those hormones as well. Other functions that progesterone have, it actually helps. It regulates your fluid. So you might have symptoms like fluid retention, so puffy hands and feet, or actual fluid retention around the belly, particularly when your menstrual cycles are happening. You can get that fluid retention. So that's a real telltale sign. One big sign I notice actually is when women wake up in the morning and they get the eye puffiness. That can be related to thyroid, but also that low progesterone. So you get the progesterone up, and it really helps get rid of that excess fluid. So it's very, very important there. So progesterone, it's your fun-loving hormone. It makes you feel good. It helps with your mood. And so symptoms of low progesterone might be quick to temper, losing your patience quickly, or getting irritated at things that maybe you shouldn't get irritated at, or maybe a year ago they weren't as irritating. A big symptom I see with many of my clients is actually getting irritated with their partners and losing their temper with their partners quite quickly. And that's because low progesterone, it kind of makes you feel anxious, and it also affects your sleep as well. So when you've got low progesterone, you won't be able to sleep as well. So you wake up anyway and you're a little bit more anxious and a little bit more grouchy than if you'd had a good night's sleep. So that's really, really important. Many women also with low progesterone get really heavy, painful, clotted periods. So really, really clotting. Also painful, swollen breasts. Not so much lumpy breasts, that's more caused by low iodine, but the real swollen breasts and very painful as well, and especially coupled with high estrogen, that can cause lots of problems. I've seen that women that have estrogen-dependent cancers can often have low progesterone as well, because progesterone is actually a hormone that can protect you against the cancer. It actually helps with certain bodily functions in terms of looking for cancers and actually repairing cancers, because that's what our body is meant to do. You know, cancers are popping up all the time due to external, internal influences, and our body is designed to go and seek out those cancer cells and destroy. And if we have got the right lifestyle, if our hormones are out of balance, then it may not be able to support us in that way and do the functions normally. Other signs that I've seen: weight gain, so stubborn weight, putting on weight and not being able to lose it. Just that general losing that zest for life, not as excited for life, not as excited to do things. You know, it's 6 o'clock in the evening and friends have invited you out and you really just don't feel like it, or you just don't feel like going out to the shops, or you really don't feel like doing that drive. Those are often signs of low progesterone as well. So you can see the array is so big. You know, we've got the physical symptoms of the water retention, the heavy painful periods. We've got the mental and emotional symptoms of the losing your patience, the depression, the low moods, losing your zest for life, lack of energy, definitely lack of libido. Low progesterone, you really won't feel like sex at all. And you may have to really, you know, push yourself to feel like it, but you don't feel like it on a daily basis. So that's a big sign. And then we've got other more chronic symptoms, so issues. We've got infertility. You know, infertility, I'll definitely look at your progesterone levels first and foremost. Recurrent miscarriage, it's a definite telltale sign of low progesterone, or other issues of not being able to metabolize your B9 and those kind of things. So we can see there's so many issues going on here. And other things I've seen: eczema. You know, eczema can be caused by high estrogen to low progesterone. And then acne, so particularly acne on the chin line, just here coming up, that can be the low progesterone. With testosterone, you normally get the acne on the back and over the cheeks, sort of here. But low progesterone, you sort of get it on the chin line just here. So that's a symptom to look out for as well. Other symptoms, what were some interesting ones I was thinking of? The low thyroid, the eczema, and the depression. So I've gone through what I think, you know, some of the most important ones. I've also seen women losing hair as well with low progesterone. So I would definitely look out for that symptom as well. That can be quite a common symptom. The losing their hair, and then just generally sort of a dull skin. Progesterone does help to upregulate other hormone regulation, so it can affect growth hormone, it can affect oxytocin as well. So low oxytocin can cause that kind of not really wanting to socialize, not really wanting to go out, and pain as well. Progesterone, in terms of pain, progesterone actually helps you to feel the pain in a better, you don't feel the pain as much. High estrogen, and you might notice this, ladies, through your menstrual cycle. When your estrogen is high, you know, around before ovulation or just after ovulation, your perception of pain is worse and you actually feel pain more. Whereas when progesterone's a little bit higher, your perception of pain actually is a little bit better. And the same with when your testosterone's a little bit high, you don't feel pain as much. So you might actually want to look for those symptoms throughout your cycle. But if you're really noticing you're getting some, you know, awful PMS and awful PMT symptoms, I really encourage you to look at progesterone levels. So there are lots and lots of things you can do for your progesterone levels. So first you can just do an assessment and just see what's going on, see if you think you do have issues with your progesterone levels. You can also get saliva tests which tell you, and that's what I do with my clients, or the saliva test, because that gives you a really good indication of your ratio of estrogen to progesterone. And then things that you can do to actually help with your progesterone levels, and I would do this anyway. There's a small proportion of people that do have high progesterone, and normally if you've got high progesterone but you've still got symptoms, what's happening is stress in your life is actually inhibiting you from actually utilizing and using that progesterone properly. So stress might be sitting on the hormone receptor like this, progesterone comes along to activate, and because you're stressed it won't activate. The same happens with thyroid hormones as well. So you just need to be aware of what's happening in your life and how that might be affecting your hormones being used day to day, because even if you've got a lot of one hormone, if you're stressed, your body's just not going to be using it correctly. So that's another thing to look out for. And like I tell everyone, always go back to the two most important things to go back to: deal with stress and make sure you've got a diet that regulates your blood sugar. Those are really the two most important things to do. And then everything else starts to fall into place, or you just work a little bit more on everything else. But those are really, really important. As soon as your blood sugar gets out of balance, everything else just goes woo out the door. That's the damage that, you know, high blood glucose and continuing the insulin pumping out through the day, continue to pumping out, that the damage that can do as well in terms of inflammation, damage to cells, damage to ovaries, eggs, that kind of thing. So the first and foremost thing you need to do if you want to balance your progesterone is to balance your blood sugar. First and foremost, you do that with diet. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, you need a really good array of macronutrients in terms of the ratio, so your fat, your protein, your carbohydrate, you would do that first. Other things you can add into your diet which will help to balance your blood sugar. You can add in cinnamon to your diet, wonderful. Vanilla to your diet. Legumes are great as well as a kind of a starch to help with blood sugar, so your lentils. And then you can add in minerals to your diet, or you can take actual supplements like chromium is wonderful, and I absolutely love magnesium. So magnesium is wonderful for regulating blood sugar and just helping with lazy insulin receptors. If they're tired and if they're lazy, the magnesium can really help that. So you want to kind of like upregulate those insulin receptors a little bit. One hormonal state is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and that most often is shown to have low progesterone levels, and that's a blood sugar issue. So if you've got PCOS or signs of polycystic ovarian syndrome, you really need to look at your progesterone and look at your blood sugar and your insulin receptors and really work on helping those to do their job properly, so that you don't have this under or over insulin flooding your system and flooding your bloodstream. So that's the first thing to do. Second thing to do is get some B6 into you. So B6 really helps the pituitary to perform its function and to help with the production of progesterone. Now, as I mentioned before, progesterone gets produced from the ovaries, but it also gets produced during pregnancy from the placenta. And this is why actually after pregnancy, when women have had their baby, their progesterone levels plummet, because their body's used to regulating the progesterone using the placenta. So it's really important that after pregnancy, so you don't get those low thyroid symptoms, you don't get the hair loss, you don't get the fatigue and the weight gain, which happens to a lot of women. It's very important that as towards the end of your pregnancy, before you give birth, you really start to do all these great things to help with your pituitary function and help with your progesterone function, because that's going to help you stay strong once you give birth. So foods that have B6 in, because B6 helps with the pituitary function. You've got nuts and seeds. Liver is fantastic, so you can look at some recipes of how to get liver into your diet. Use organic liver. You can fry some liver up. Some people are brave enough, and I saw this the other day on, was it the Nourish Psychologist? I saw a liver smoothie. I haven't tried it, but you're more than welcome to try it. Always freeze the liver to kill off any bacteria, kill off any parasites or anything. Freeze it before having it raw. Don't have it straight raw, freeze it. So you can have that. Nuts and seeds have B6 in, lots and lots of leafy greens. And sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds has lots and lots of B6 in, so just get that in. If you've got any conditions and you have any low B vitamins, you have low B12 or low B9 or low iron, you may want to supplement with B6. So an activated B6 is a wonderful way to get that extra B6 into your body to actually create more progesterone and upregulate your pituitary. You also need to de-stress. So stress is the worst thing for, one, the pituitary gland, but two, progesterone function. So I've mentioned this before, but it's really, really important. Stress is a hormone stealer. It just doesn't care about anything else, and it will just steal those hormones. So you really, really, really need to manage your stress. If you're not managing your stress, your body doesn't care. Your body doesn't care about any other function that's going on. So it's going to steal those hormones. It's going to steal your progesterone, and it can steal it really easily. It can actually steal progesterone more than it can steal any of the other hormones, because progesterone is right there above it, and it just funnels, turns into cortisol, and your body uses it when it's stressed. So obviously you can't manage the stress that's in your life. Obviously you cannot change your situation. You may be able to, but if you can't, you can't. But what you can change is how you adapt, how you react, how you perceive the stress. We're all very different and we can all perceive stress better or worse than others. You all know those people that get stressed out at the tiniest thing, and then those people that are very, very chilled. And those people that are chilled, they've just got very good techniques to help their bodies to manage that stress. There's no point getting stressed out until you really need to get stressed out. That's a life-threatening situation. That's when you need to get stressed out, or something that's really life-altering. But those day-to-day stresses, you need to start sitting back and not letting them bother you. You know, just the little things, you know, that might be affecting you. To help you do that, you can do a couple of different things. So you can do meditation, you can do quiet time, you can do affirmations, you can do visualizations. So there's a great book by Hal Elrod called The Miracle Morning. And it's got some wonderful techniques in it that are actually simple that you can do in the morning. And so you can actually do just 5 minutes of quiet time, just quietening your brain down. You can do visualization. So if you tend to be a bit of a stress head through the day, just visualize yourself calm, you know, visualize yourself nice and calm. You can also do affirmations. So you can say, today I'm going to be calm, clear, and clarity. I'm going to have clear energy. I'm going to be full of clarity. And you can just say that. If you find none of this helps and you actually feel like you're stressed and you can't help it and you feel like it's part of your personality, then this is the thing. It actually could be low progesterone. So then you may need to do a little bit extra first before actually doing all this stress stuff. So I would then recommend, if you feel like you're just crazy, you've got no patience, and suddenly you flip and you think, oh, that's not me, that's not my personality. Why did I say that? Why am I acting like that? That can be stress, but also coupled with a low progesterone. So you could try a herb or something like Vitex or Chase Tree. They're the same herb. You can get some nice low doses at the health food shop or pharmacy, and just see if taking that for 2 weeks, just see if that helps, along with magnesium. Just see if that helps to make you calmer, to make you deal with situations differently, and also not get as angry and not get as not sort of lose your temper quickly. Because if you feel like it's not you and it's someone else is just in there and you can't help it, that's a sign that it's your hormones. That is a sign, and that is a really big symptom. So I would definitely recommend that. Definitely get your vitamin C up. So you can take about 2 grams of vitamin C a day in a tablet form or powder form. Some good brands like Natural Raw Vitamin C, Liposomal Vitamin C, Bioceuticals, Metagenic. You can also take foods that are high in vitamin C. So oranges aren't really that high, but kiwi fruit have a bit of vitamin C in. Red capsicum has vitamin C in. Sweet potatoes have vitamin C in. And then lots of leafy greens have vitamin C in. So just do that along with not orange juice, because orange juice is just sugary and it's not that great for you. So it's not a great way to get vitamin C into your body. So I would definitely recommend that. Get the vitamin C up a little bit. Then we need to get estrogen down. So we need to remove any synthetic estrogens from our environment. So make sure you use glass for your water. I keep these. This one's a bit sticky here because it's from the week, but these are like the tomato passata jars, and I find these are fantastic. So I either put water in these, or I have one with a green smoothie in that I bring to work here, and so I have a couple of those. So then, you know, the less plastic and the less synthetic estrogen you have in your environment, the better. And synthetic estrogens take the form of lots of chemicals in your skincare and your beauty products. Synthetic candles are a big one. If you've got lots of synthetic candles lying around, I would really try and minimize all these environmental toxins as much as you can to help with your hormones. So you can do it slowly and you may not be aware, but I would actually start with things that are really potent in smell. So and all over body moisturizer. So you know, your face moisturizer, that's fine, but maybe change your all over body moisturizer to coconut oil or something like that, and just remove all the synthetic candles from the room. Get rid of any synthetic smelly things like those things that dangle in your car, the things, I don't know what they're called, I've just seen them in the supermarket, the things in the bathroom that have the smelly stuff in. And replace it for a nice essential oil burner and natural essential oils. doTERRA does some beautiful essential oils. You can get lemongrass, you can get peppermint. So try and replace things for natural. And in this time of year, when it's winter, it's great to have cinnamon and sandalwood and those natural things. And then replace things like if you're doing it step by step, replace anything spray wise. So spray deodorants or body spray. There's no need for body spray over the body. But you can replace your spray deodorant with like a roll-on or something like that. So you can just take small steps, you know, and eventually you'll get to a place where maybe you haven't got any issue, you know, you don't have any synthetics in your environment. So we've talked about plastics and we talked about all of that. So that's good. If you're going through any renovations or any painting, or you work in an environment where there's lots of chemicals, or maybe at work they're doing a refit, then I would encourage you to take two things. One is zinc, and I would go about 25 milligrams of zinc, and the second would be chlorella tablets, so about 5 chlorella tablets a day to help with pollution in the atmosphere, in the air or anything like that, if you're exposed to it. So I would definitely recommend that. The next mineral is zinc, and I've just spoken about that. You can get zinc from pumpkin seeds and also oysters. Those are the two foods with the most zinc in, and then leafy greens, obviously, and nuts and seeds as well. But oysters and pumpkin seeds are fantastic. Or you can just take a zinc supplement, 25 milligrams of zinc a day, if you feel you need to. Signs of low zinc, you know, hair loss, flaky scalp, dry around here, little white things. It's very interesting, actually. I never used to get a white spot on my nail, and now ever so often I get a little white spot, and I'm not sure. I live near, this is what I'm thinking, I live near a golf course, and I'm just wondering, I get it every 3 months. I'm just wondering if they do like a big spray, like a weed kill, a weed spray, and so my body's actually going low on zinc because it's fighting it's trying to detox the body of the spray. That's a theory, and I might investigate that. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was the pituitary gland, because the pituitary gland is one of the most important, if not almost the important gland in our body. Pituitary gland produces all our pre-hormones. We've got pre-hormones to thyroid, adrenal hormones, oxytocin, FSH, LH, our sexual hormones, our fertility hormones. So if there's anything going on with our pituitary, we're going to be sluggish everywhere else. You know, our thyroid's going to be slow. We might not ovulate properly. We won't have enough progesterone. So we really need to focus on the pituitary. There's a few different ways you can do that. I mentioned the B6. B6 is wonderful for the pituitary. Fat is fantastic for anything in the brain. So fat we need. Fat will heal the brain. So especially if you're under any stress, you can take krill oil, fish oil, you can eat butter, you can eat ghee, you can eat coconut oil, MCT oil. That's what we need for the brain. So that will definitely help. Manganese as well is a mineral that's very, very, very good for the pituitary, and you'll find that in nuts and seeds and meats, but that helps with the pituitary function. And then there are 2 lifestyle things that you can do for your pituitary as well. One is candle gazing with a natural candle. Beeswax candle, actually. I love beeswax candles. They smell gorgeous, divine. Candle gazing will help to stimulate your pituitary. So if you have a sluggish pituitary, if you have any growths on your pituitary or anything going on, candle gazing will help. So you sit with a candle a couple of feet away from you and you kind of meditate to it. You stare at the candle. It's like a meditation, and you try not to blink for as long as possible. If you need to blink, all you do, shut your eyes, open them again, and continue to stare. Wonderful for the pituitary, wonderful to help to stimulate it. And then another thing are various yoga moves where you're kind of upside down. So I've mentioned before the yoga move that helps with the thyroid gland. That's actually the plow. So when you're lying on your back and your legs go up behind you like that, wonderful for the thyroid. It gets because you're kind of like locking it. like this, and it gets all the blood going there. For the pituitary, it's anything where you're elevated yourself. So headstand, handstand, doing the wheel, or at least trying to do the wheel, or a posture called fish, which is probably the easiest if you're not used to yoga. I wish I could show you, but a posture called fish, where you lie down straight on your back and everything's straight. You put your hands underneath your bottom, so each palm facing down underneath your bottom, and you then bend your elbows so your head goes back like this, and then your top of your head here is sort of almost on the floor. That's fantastic, and you sort of go up like this, and so you're kind of around. That's fantastic for the pituitary. If you Google that, it's called, in my yoga class, it's called fish posture. If you Google that, that's probably one of the easiest postures to do. So that, coupled with the candle gazing, the B6 and the added fat in your diet, the things I really would recommend for the pituitary. And then also tapping as well, and acupuncture. Acupuncture is wonderful for the pituitary gland. So those are the things I would really recommend to get it stimulated. And then I did mention before, so B6 is good, but also the herb Vitex. Vitex is also called chaste tree, and that actually stimulates the pituitary. And it's also a wonderful herb to get women kind of energetically in tune with the external environment. So what I find with Vitex and or chaste tree is it actually helps to get the menstrual cycle in tune with the moon. So there's something there energetically going on. It's a wonderful herb for women. It just works so well with women. So I definitely recommend that. So, wow, that was a lot. I was just looking at my notes to see if I've got through everything I wanted to get through, and tell you everything I wanted to get through. Actually, there's one other thing I was going to mention for the pituitary, and you can do meditation. There are actually meditation tracks online, certain music tones, alpha waves and beats actually help with the pituitary. So you could have a look at that as well and see how you go. So there was a lot of information there, but we were really talking about, so the hormone that I wanted to talk about was progesterone, but I kind of did go off topic, not really off topic, but I went and chatted about the pituitary, because the pituitary is so important when it comes to hormones. I want you to understand that there's all these different processes in the body, and the pituitary, the hypothalamus and the hippocampus are really, really important when it comes to that, and that's your brain health. So just to recap, balance your blood sugar, add B6 into your diet, stimulate your pituitary gland, really manage your stress and nourish yourself when it comes to stress. Get your magnesium, your manganese, your zinc in your diet. All of these will help with the progesterone. So if you've got any of those symptoms in terms of the miscarriage, the infertility, the heavy painful periods, short periods, so you get them every 15, 16, 17 days as opposed to 28, 30 days, that can be low progesterone, hair loss, weight gain, water retention, depression, or that you just get grouchy really, really easily. I would definitely look at your progesterone levels and actually try and implement some of those strategies to help raise your progesterone, because once progesterone starts to raise, not only do you sleep better, but you just feel so freaking good. You just feel relaxed and you feel balanced, and you actually feel strong to take on whatever is going on around you in your environment, in your world. So I encourage you to have a look at progesterone and have a think about that when it comes to you and your health and your hormones, because it's very, very important. So I hope you found that helpful. If you've got any questions, please pop them below. I know that the Facebook Live has been a bit on and off today, I think with the overcast weather. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. And please, 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 if you found it helpful, let me know. If you want to ask any questions, let me know. If you want to know more about progesterone or the pituitary, just let me know, and I'll get on it. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I can't wait to connect with you all soon. Bye.